Hey guys, so today we are talking all about the most common skin undertone and is there a most common skin undertone and things like that. And so I want to go over sort of my thoughts on this and my experience with my clients and with just looking at the general population and how those experiences could be different. And then I want to sort of talk about what I've heard being said about the topic and sort of discuss a little bit of that and my thoughts on it. Okay, so if you're completely new here, I have all kinds of videos about color typing, body typing on my channel, and I also offer color typing and body typing through my website, and I'll leave a link to those services down below. So let's talk about what I think is the answer to this question. What is the most common skin undertone? The most common skin undertone doesn't really appear to exist, okay? It seems that the most common skin undertone is anything that gets closer to neutral. So if I have some scientists watching me, it seems like it's like a Gaussian distribution where it's like when you get closer to neutral, there are kind of like more people who are either cool and delicate or warm and delicate. So the muted skin tone. So most people look good in muted colors, not in bright colors. And then on the edges, we have cool and bright, and we have warm and bright. And those seem to be pretty equivalent in their frequency in the population. When I go outside, kind of seems pretty equivalent, cool and bright, warm and bright. There are kind of less of you guys, and then there are more people who are cool and delicate and warm and delicate. Okay, but what do I see with my clients, right? So with my clients, I tend to find that a lot of people are delicate too, okay? And some people are cool and radiant. And it really depends on sort of what kind of client base you attract as a color analyst, right? So if you are someone who is going to talk a lot about cool and delicate and warm and delicate, then a lot of my videos are cool and delicate, warm and delicate videos, because those topics I feel are not as covered in color analysis as other topics like cool and delicate. For example, you could have dark hair and really light skin but still look good in soft colors, so that's sort of cool and delicate. Bianca Balti is cool and delicate, Kim Kardashian is cool and delicate. So I talk about cool and delicate a lot, and no surprise, I get a lot of cool and delicate clients, sometimes they're confused, sometimes they're actually cool and radiant. Sometimes I get clients who are a really common kind of client that I get is someone who's like me, right? So if you're like me, you've been told you're warm your whole life, but you're actually cool. And so you might have an olive skin tone, and I get a lot of olive skin tones, and I get a lot of people who are confused about why they're cool, or are confused about why bright colors don't look good on them even though they're supposed to be a winter. So that's because that is sort of what I talk about on the channel. But in general though, if you are a color analyst, you are really not going to get as many warm and radiant people. I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Warm and radiant people are the people who don't believe in color analysis, okay? They're just like, why don't you just wear what you want? I wear what I want. Yeah, because you're warm and radiant, okay? Because warm and radiant looks good in everything. Even if they wear their worst colors, they still look okay because their skin is basically golden. It's very warm. So when they wear colors that are not their own, they tend to just look more golden. Sure, they can sometimes look a bit sallow or something, but that's not nearly as bad as what happens to cool undertones when they wear warm colors, especially if you're cool and radiant. And if you have a light skin tone, then you really cannot handle wearing warm colors at all. You tend to look gray if you're cool and delicate, and you tend to look gray-blue if you're cool and radiant, if you wear warm colors, because it brings out what's not there, brings out the opposite, right? So, but if you're warm and you wear a cool color, you just look more golden. If you're cool and you wear a warm color, you look more blue or more gray. So in general, color analysts, in my opinion, are seeing a lot more people who have trouble with color, and those are going to be the cool undertones, right? Because cool undertones are going to have more trouble with color unless they get unless they know that they're cool themselves, or they get an analysis done and they're told that they're cool, okay? So you guys, I have had probably just around or over 1,000 clients now, okay? And out of 1,000 clients, I think I can probably count on my fingers just how many warm and radiant clients I've had. So that just gives you a sense. Warm and radiant people really don't come to color analysts. At the same time, when I go out into the general public, I see plenty of warm and radiant people, and they're wearing, you know, gray. They're wearing whatever they want, and they look fine, okay? So they don't come to color analysts. And, you know, when I get a warm and radiant person, I'm pretty excited because when they wear their own colors, they just light up so much. So, you know, I'm really excited to give them their colors and to, you know, to tell them that they're warm and radiant. But this is the thing with warm and radiant, is that it still makes a difference for them to wear their own colors. It's just that they don't have as much of a difference, okay? They don't have as much of a difference between their worst colors and their best colors. But cool and radiant and cool and delicate, you guys, I'm cool and delicate, we all have a bigger difference. So, you know, we're more likely to realize, oh wow, this color is really not flattering, you know? Because it actually is very much not flattering. But warm and radiant, you know, it's not that unflattering. On, like, no color is really as unflattering as on a cool undertone. So, yeah, so out of the people that I've seen in public, though, again, I see plenty of warm and radiant people, but then I've heard little birds, okay, saying that cool undertones are more common in the population than warm undertones. I have to say I passionately disagree. I don't think cool undertones are more common than warm undertones. I've had people who are warm and delicate. I've just had a client who was warm and delicate, who came to me, and I typed her warm and delicate, clear cut, you know, just warm and delicate, okay, here are your colors, like this is all good. And she comes back telling me that she was typed cool and radiant. Okay, so this made me a little bit angry because she is not, she had warm eyes, okay, which I know, I mean, I don't use eyes, okay, for color typing. I use the skin undertone only, and then I kind of add in the features. But even looking at it from, let's say, another color analyst perspective, like this person has warm eyes, they have warm hair, and they have warm skin. But the thing is that they were high contrast, okay? So they are kind of more likely to be placed into cool, because everybody who is high contrast, like me, gets placed into winter. Okay, so this person, for some reason, they got placed into cool and bright colors, and you know, the warm and delicate colors, and ended up working out pretty well for her. And you know, for warm and delicate, if you're high contrast, while we're talking about this, I would also recommend colors like warm purples, plums, eggplants, teals. Those are all really lovely because they're darker, but they still look beautiful with your golden skin tone. But the problem with warm and delicate is that they get placed into cool, and so then, you know, if color analysts are placing warm and delicate into cool, it's making the whole distribution look like there are more cool undertones than there actually are, right? So they get placed into cool, and then it's like, oh look, the whole population is cool. It's like, no, these are warm and delicate people that are actually really common, but they're placed into cool. Like Cate Blanchett is universally placed into cool, but she's actually warm and delicate, so her colors are peaches and creams. So this idea that more of the population is cool, I have to say, you know, I disagree, and I think it's because of these two factors, right? These two factors happening. The first factor being that the people who will go to color analysts are usually not warm and radiant, you know? And then the people who do go are warm and delicate, cool and radiant. And then warm and delicate gets placed by a lot of color analysts into cool. And so then you just have, oh, 90% of the population is cool toned. No, not at all. 90% of the population is absolutely not cool toned. Definitely not. I mean, I don't think most color analysts even think this, that it's that severe of a distribution, okay? But it's not. It's pretty much, like I said, it's from the public, from the general public. You know, if you go and walk around and you take a look, you'll find that most people are sort of in the middle, where they're cool and delicate and warm and delicate, and then on the sides you have less people. You know, you have less cool and radiant people, less warm and radiant people. But you have more warm and delicate and cool and delicate, and they seem to be 50-50. There are a lot of people who are warm and delicate, There are, even in public, outside, not just my clients. So, you know, and there's a reason why all of those earth tones, tans, you know, neutrals, like the neutrals, right, are seen as flattering, because they often are flattering for warm and delicate. They're just not flattering for, like, everyone else. So one more thing that is sort of like a third factor that might contribute to this idea that the majority of the population is cool type of thing, is that a lot of color analysts don't feel comfortable typing people unless they have color draped them, unless they've typed them in a studio. And I've seen color analysts say this, that you really don't know someone's skin undertone until you color drape them in a studio. I have to say I completely disagree with this too. I think that maybe if you're well, it can be two things, right? It can be either you're just starting out and you can't tell people's skin undertone without draping them, which is fine, okay? Or you are of the belief system that the skin undertone is underneath the skin, and you might be a seasoned color analyst, you might be able to guess. You know, when you see someone, if you're a color analyst, you might be able to guess, right? What their skin undertone is without color draping them, but you still color drape them because you want to confirm, or it's just good practice, right? So, and you know, for my consults, for my typings, I like to see people in different colors, even though, you know, you can tell what color type someone is, and especially if you're in person, you can tell what the color type is. In photos, it can be tricky, so I like to have a lot of photos in different colors, etc. But the point is that you can tell people's skin undertone when you're just going outside in public, in a park or anywhere or anything like that. But because of this belief system of, you know, the skin undertone being underneath the skin, and you have to color drape, otherwise there's no way you can tell. All you can tell is you're seeing the overtones, which again, I disagree with, okay? Anyway, the whole idea here is that because they believe, right, these color analysts who are saying that you cannot tell someone's skin undertone, they believe they can't tell unless they color drape them. They only have the sample of the people who come into their studio or come to them for virtual consults, right? So what happens then is that they get the majority of people who come in are cool, okay? Or they might be warm and delicate, you know, it's hard to say. But I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of people who came in are cool toned, because cool toned people have such a hard time. And so then the color analysts are like, well, look, everybody who I've color typed is cool. So maybe the majority of the population is cool, but really, I've never seen a cool toned person not believe in color analysis, okay? It's only the warm and radiant people, okay, who are like, they don't believe in it. They think that everything is great. All colors are great. Everything is great. So, anyway, so that's kind of, and you know, I see them all the time. One of my coworkers was warm and radiant, and I told her, you know, oh, you're, you know, warm and bright, you know, like peaches, like really bright peaches, salmons look beautiful on you. And she was like, don't care, you know. So it was pretty interesting. But someone else, you know, cool undertones are like, they tell you I'm cool, you know. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave some comments down below and let me know how many people you see that are cool or warm. I didn't cover like different parts of the world. It's a little bit beyond the scope of this video to cover different parts of the world. But in general, my client base is pretty much from all over the world. I take clients from all over the world. So I see a lot of different skin undertones from all over the world, like everywhere. And by different, I mean they can be cool and warm from the same region. It doesn't seem to really matter. It doesn't seem like one region is all warm or all cool. So yeah, so I don't see that there's like a big, you know, regional differences in the world, but maybe that's something that I will look deeper into and sort of, if you guys are interested, make a video on that in the future. So leave a comment if you're interested in that. And that's it. If you are still confused about what's going on, I have videos. I offer typing. I'll leave the link to my typing services in the description. And oh, we also have Club. We have Club, where we have exclusive videos and we do club member typings, we do Q&As and things like that. So if you are interested in that, I'll leave a link to Club below as well. And that is it. I hope you liked this video, and I will talk to you next time. Okay, bye.